see sometime in the future.
Well, no rest for the wicked. We move immediately on to the right-hander, Olga Nikitina, world number 13, going up against another right-hander, Yoon Ji-soo of Korea, the world number 21. We have the top half of the draw sorted out. Karlan going up against Shao. This is the bottom half of the draw. There is Olga Nikitina and Yoon Ji-soo.
Interesting to see if Karlan was watching that match. I'm sure she was. And with her technical ability in the middle of the piece, she may well be trying to set those parries up in the semi-final. We'll see later. But here we see this one of the new young Russian women's saber fencers. Got a really good group of strong youngsters. Only 21 years old, Olga Nikitina.
Well, it's Vasyl Milenchev who will get us underway for this third quarter-final here at the Montreal Grand Prix. As John said, it's another one of the conveyor belt production line from Russia. Olga Nikitina on the right against Yoon Ji-soo of Korea.
Good parry pass to start for the Russian. Bit of a clash of styles here. Nikitina's Moskwa's off, so the referee calls halt. Yoon will be trying to use a bit more distance, I think, pulling her opponent short or taking over and attacking in the middle or hitting preparation. Nikitina will be using more variations on her footwork preparation and blade actions. I think Nikitina might find she's going to try and contain the match sort of in the middle of the piece, middle 5-6 meters, using her sort of changes of rhythm, changes of preparation to confuse her opponent's timing.
And we're back to a case of one eye on Tokyo 2020 here with both of these athletes. They're in teams that are almost certain to qualify for the Olympic Games, so they're vying for a spot in the team. Look, let's look at Russia first, John. For me, you've got Sofia Velikaya, who hasn't attended this competition and potentially has a little bit of an injury. Sofia Pozniakova and Yana Igorian, the current individual Olympic champion from Rio 2016. Nikitina probably is the fourth name on that list, but it's far from done yet. You've got Galiak Borova, who we haven't seen so much of in the last 6 months, but Svetlana Shevaleva, a year ago, you would have said she was going to be on the team.
Yeah, I think over the last 12 months, Nikitina's just edged ahead of Shevaleva. Shevaleva, you know, phenomenally talented young fencer as well, from the same year as Nikitina. And then you've got Mikhailova, one of the even younger fencers, coming up behind.
Junior world champion.
Yeah, and you know, physically really strong, powerful, tall fencer. Very different style to Shevaleva and Nikitina. Kind of maybe bring something to the team that the other fencers don't. So, you know, and there still are events for her to make her mark as well. So it's certainly not all over in that battle for team spots. And I'm not sure that anyone's 100% safe. Maybe Pozniakova and Velikaya more so, because Igorian's been a little bit up and down.
Yeah, but she's on an upward trajectory, I'd say, in terms of her performances at the moment. She's it seems that she's been inspired by the return of Velikaya back into her good form. But what about the Koreans? I mean, you got Kim Ji-yeon, obviously. I think this is the #1 on the list for the Koreans across all 6 disciplines, perhaps. Maybe the other Kim Jong-won might have something else to say about it in men's saber. But Choi Soo-yoon and Yoon Ji-soo, are those the top 3, or Xiao and Huang, do they have some kind of opportunity to get into that team?
I think those 3 are, at the moment, you know, they're a little bit ahead, and I would personally say that if I was going to pick my team of 3 out of that list of Koreans, it's a very strong list. You can go further down the ranking and still find really strong fencers, but those 3 are the ones that you'd want in the team at the moment. But there's still time for things to change, and I think Xiao would be the one that I would be watching, someone that could move forward. Well, I think Yoon, Kim and Choi is a very, very tough team.
And let's be fair, as we go to the break, Nikitina with their commanding 8-2 lead. These 2 have done themselves a massive favour by making at this stage of the Montreal Grand Prix as a sort of nod to their coaches that, hey, I'm here to play.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think more so Nikitina than Yoon. I think Yoon is in a bit slightly safer position. And Nikitina is certainly looking very clinical and solid here. I was watching her warm-up lesson earlier on with her coach, and a fairly brutal 40-odd minute warm-up lesson before her 64 match. And she just barely made a mistake in the entire lesson and was just so focused and working so hard on the piece.
And there she is, and she's actually been in a fairly sort of cheery mood today. Sometimes you see an impassive nature from the Korean athletes, but today she has been all smiles. She's been enjoying herself, but she won't be enjoying this particular battle. In terms of the fight itself, what would you say Yoon has to do to change this dire situation?
I think she just needs to commit less early in the middle. I think Nikitina's playing a lot more open eyes or second intention, so she's drawing in her opponent to the
Nikitina went off to speak to her coach. Yoon went off, had her minute, and was back on the piece ready to go. Nikitina made her wait.
Interesting, yeah. I mean, although having said that, if I was Nikitina, I'd want to just keep momentum of the fight. See, Yoon has come out much more aggressive already, sharper preparation, taking up the rhythm of the fight. Nikitina will prefer it when her opponent's going a little bit slower, showing her intention. It's exactly what we were saying in the break, that instead of reacting to Nikitina all the time, Yoon is now trying to force Nikitina to react to her. And we can see from those first couple of hits of this half that she's done it very successfully.
She certainly has. He called it in the break. A little bit of accidental bumpage there.
Still the right strategy from Yoon there. She just got the execution wrong. She went too deep on the preparation and then couldn't get back out of the way from the Russians' attacking preparation for the Korean. This could now turn into a very interesting match. Will Nikitina be able to adapt to this much higher tempo, much higher pace that the Korean has brought to the table? Again, good strategy, but poorly executed by Yoon. She just needs to stay down on guard and take the step back. She's just kind of half leaning back, not really moving out of distance.
Yeah, she was frustrated with herself, and I think she knew that she was about to make that mistake before she made it.
Nikitina's keeping ahead here. She's kept her level.
Well, she's adapted.
She has a little bit, but a couple of mistakes from Yoon, although she was using the right tactics, a couple of technical mistakes meant that, you know, this could be 9-8 at this stage, but it means Nikitina has a little bit more breathing space. Now Yoon is starting to get a little bit tense.
And as Nikitina closes in on that 15, Yoon needs to keep her eye off the scoreboard, basically, and just fence each individual hit. Easy to say, hey, John?
Easy to say, and there Yoon has now reverted back to that longer, slower step she was using in the first half, which is not the effective rhythm to use against someone that's keeping the distance long and using blade actions. Doing a long, slow step, long lunge. Tap and prep. Still not quite over this.
Brave decision to make at that point, but
it's a do or die, really.
She got it. What's she going to do now, the Korean?
I think she'll go for the faster, shorter preparation again. Try and take the initiative. Well, she didn't. She jumped in again and then gave the reprise attack to NIKITINA. I think YOON just hasn't quite dealt with this tactical situation as she should have done. There, jump, stop, NIKITINA taking the reprise.
I suppose in some respects NIKITINA can afford to take some risk, go a bit more eyes open and watch off the line. Exactly, she does it again and gets the para pass to take her through. Olga NIKITINA, world number 15. I fancy she's going to be climbing up the rankings after this competition in Montreal. She is through to the semi-finals with a